Yo, what's up out there, YouTube universe? This is the dark skinned dancing American, aka the Akafarian. And I'm back in this thing giving it to y'all. The news has been flooded with all types of crazy stuff, especially these people who are fighting against ICE agents. 11 were charged in ambush for killing two ICE officers outside a detention center in Texas. Let me give y'all the scoop on it.
Authorities provided new details about an ambush attack on officers at an immigration detention facility in North Texas. A police officer was shot in the neck outside the detention center in Alvarado Friday. Fox 4's Amelia Jones in studio with the latest tonight. Amelia.
Clarice, the Alvarado police officer who was shot is expected to recover. The Department of Justice says this marks the fifth assault on law enforcement officers in the Northern Texas district this year. Nearly a dozen people are now facing multiple federal charges.
Make no mistake, this was not a so-called peaceful protest. It was indeed an ambush.
Monday, the Department of Justice shared new details on a shooting at the Prairieland Detention Center in Alvarado, south of Fort Worth. Officials say around 10:30 p.m. on July 4th, a group of 10 to 12 people dressed in black military-style clothing shot off fireworks and vandalized the facility.
They engaged in the graffiti, they damaged vehicles and a guard structure. The graffiti had such words as traitor, ice pig, other profanity.
Officials say this was a ruse to draw out the ICE personnel, and it worked. Two unarmed corrections officers went to speak with the vandals. Meanwhile, the group signaled a gunman nearby. Alvarado police responded to a 911 call at the facility. When the officer got there, he was shot in the neck, and another assailant fired 20 to 30 rounds at the unarmed corrections officers. When the suspects fled the scene, the Johnson County Sheriff's Office stopped a vehicle leaving the detention center.
There was a single driver in that vehicle. The sheriff deputy saw in plain sight a firearm. Another firearm was in the back seat, and there were two Kevlar ballistic-style vests also in that vehicle.
According to court documents, this driver told the sheriff deputy he met some people online and took them from Dallas to the detention center to, quote, make some noise. On the detention center property, sheriff deputies stopped 7 individuals near where the Alvarado police officer was shot.
Some were wearing body armor, some were covered in mud, some were armed, and some had two-way radios on them.
When authorities searched the area, they found more body armor, spray paint, and flyers with anti-ICE messaging.
Over the course of the weekend, additional related searches occurred. We found masks, goggles, tactical gloves. We've won residence of one of the defendants. There was additional body armor. There was a cache of 9 additional weapons, spray paint, fireworks, and again, insurrectionist material.
The Department of Justice charged the 10 suspects with 3 counts of attempted murder of a federal officer and 3 counts of discharging a firearm in relation to a crime of violence. An additional co-conspirator is charged with obstruction of justice and conspiracy for attempting to conceal and destroy evidence in relation to the attack. He faces up to 10 years in prison.
This will not be tolerated. Those who use violence against law enforcement officers will be found, and they will be prosecuted with the toughest criminal statutes and penalties that we have available to us.
What up there out there, YouTube universe? This is the dark skin dancing American, aka the Akafarian. And I'm back at y'all with another one, fam. Now, everything y'all heard on the news about this ambush, 11 are charged with ambushing the officer at a detention center. And even the one they caught the person, the ones who in Salem were charged for 10 years. when they go to court, they all about to get the death penalty. I don't think they about. Let's just talk about it. Let's be real. If you shooting at a federal officer, when they catch you, if they catch you, because sometimes they just neutralize that behind. They kill that ass on the spot. But in this particular situation, they caught him. A, do you think they're going to get the death penalty like I do? Or B, they're going to get a whole life in prison? See, some people may think B, but I think it's A because of how they did it. They was trying to get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different, when it'd be a different story, but how it was done was almost like it was like they said it was an ambush, and exactly that's the words, the ambush. They set them up. They wrote some graffiti outside their place to get them to move. If you listen to what they was saying, they walked out of there. When I walked out of there, they started unloading. They heard 30 odd shots coming at them. One got shot in the neck. So long story short, I think that they about to get the death penalty, especially the one who shot the gun. Yeah, it's over with. Once again, everybody, I don't get it that they are trying to fight a losing battle with all the militarized weapons that my country has. They're going to use to the full extent, especially when you're going against federal agents. So, again, I would not be surprised if I see a tank around the block over there, out there in Texas. I mean, hey, it's out here in the West Coast now, so it's real. It's real. And y'all make sure y'all press like and subscribe, because I got the talking skills. It's very real. And I mean, to a token to it all, I believe that the facilities will be heightened up with security more, probably even more than what it was before. I believe that it's going to be more deaths popping off as we speak. It's going to be more people dying. Because again, we're talking about trained men and women who are objectives is to practice federal law. You understand what I'm saying? So they have a skill, so they're going to use as much as they can. But again, this is not over. And I was telling my peoples one day, I was talking to them, and we had a conversation, and I said, man, don't be surprised if we won't see nobody getting, laid out. And within 40 minutes, I looked on YouTube and I seen these ICE agents getting ambushed at a detention center. And the first thing I said was, I just got finished telling my peoples this. And as I said it, it happened. Maybe not at the same time, but you get what I'm saying? Like, the thought pattern of knowing that, this shit's about to hit the fan. Again, you have 11 people they snatched up who ain't never, even the accomplice to the person. If you notice, they talked about the accomplice, the person who helped them, the 11 people, and they said that person is getting life to 10 years. The less is 10 years. That's the person who helped. They didn't even pull the trigger, didn't do nothing, just helped. And because if you look at when they catch people okay, that help criminals, known criminals, terrorists, or whatever, whether they're domestic or whether they're foreign. Because, you know, a lot of this thing about this ICE agent getting the immigration, that's now you're starting to see is getting funky. So y'all can go ahead and press like and subscribe, and I can make these videos, you know. And anyhow, it's going down, though. It is going down like 4 flat tires in the middle of a desert. Okay? And in this situation is you see radical simpletons that's bucking against federal law. And this ain't like, you know, you see cops and shootouts with gang members and shit like this. This is on a grave level because of the immigration and what these ICE agents do on a daily basis. So it's gonna be turned all the way up. Again, this is just the beginning. See, what people gotta understand is the Orange Man is about to go full throttle. And he got 3 more years. The years ain't even over yet. I'm just saying that he still got time to implement his will. Period. And I see what it is, and I have no issue with his policies, because again, I've been, you know, full supportive about it. And I see where he's going. And again, he won't be stopped. He will not be stopped by this ambush that these people who simpletons have hard pulled. Because regardless of what they're trying to do, it just gets worse. Do you understand what I'm saying? The attempts makes it worse for anybody who is immigrants or Hispanic, because when they come to get them, they're not gonna have no mercy. They're getting shot at, they're getting set up, ambushed. You know, so you gotta look at how it's gotta be now. Now it's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be crazy. And again, I seen this already. I knew it was gonna happen. I said, man, somebody gonna get killed. And then look, this happened. So, again, YouTube universe, press like and subscribe, because we living in a life of sin. So I can make these videos again. And it's crazy, man. Checking this shit out, looking at the news and looking at how it's going down. And, you know, that's what it is, what it is. Because again, you know, I'm Foundation Black American. I know what time it is. I already knew this was going to happen anyway. That's why I'm not shocked. Other people is. I'm like, shit, just every day. You know? And people got to get used to it that way. You know, I'm fine with it. I press the line with it. You know? I'll double that 3, 4, 5 times with it. You know? Even drink some wine with you. So, that's how I do. I be dropping lines and never getting confused. All about that check, too. That's, you know, I just like to keep it nice and like a present with a ribbon on it. It's cute. What else can I do? You know, so I just like to get on that moment where you see for what it is. I like to, as I grew into an adult, I'm more of a storyteller now. I like telling stories more than just talking. Like, talking is one thing, but telling the real story, it kind of makes you like, okay, I like this story. What's this story about? You know, you just want to get more into it. Like reading a book almost. You're reading a book, you know, you're getting into the book like, you know, I like this book right here. You know, it makes you feel better as you read the book. You get to understand who wrote the book, what they were coming from, and dialogue of it all. So, you know, as I grew older, I learned how to tell stories more so than just having a conversation, just talking. Because there's ways you can just talk. You talk about your job, you talk about that. And that could be a story led as well. But again, knowing how to tell stories is a difference and compared to just talking. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I learned, and there's still much to learn. Everything is all about learning anyway, YouTube universe. That's what I've been doing this whole time, learning how to not get into other people's shit. That's one of the best things I learned even growing up. You know, as a kid, I'm a foundational Black American in that way. Trying to get wealthy, not just rich. Yeah, I was taught as a, you know, don't stick your nose in other people's business. I was taught that too. You know, if somebody is something that ain't got pertaining to you, you don't go over there looking for, you know, smoke. You feel me too? That's how you do. You stay away from that. And that really made me a better person. Because as I became older, I started realizing it's good to stay out of people's shit. Relationships, all types. It helps you, trust me. You won't be spending not a bit of energy. Because you don't give a damn for one. You know, you're doing you. And hopefully you could collecting checks too. Again, YouTube Universe, press like and subscribe so I can keep making videos for you. So, yeah, it's all about stories. I mean, how you tell it too. If you could tell it good, you don't have people just, you know, wanting to tell you some more stories. Like, tell me about this. Tell me about it. Yeah, it's interesting how you tell the story, you know. And people want to get into how you telling it, and then it gets better. It feels so pleasant afterwards when you can get that going, and it's a crowd of people that feel that same energy that you bring. Which again, in the storytelling, I would like to always make sure that when it comes down to just anything I'm doing and telling any story of mine, I want to make sure it's authentic, you know, and truth to what I do. And again, I'm trying to collect a check too. So, you know what I'm saying? Back to this government situation, man. I've been telling a lot of people I've been in contact with, some young, some older than me a little, some around my age or a little older, and I've been saying the same thing. I said, this will not end well for mainly all Hispanics who go against ICE agents and this orange man. And it's been going down. He's been going in. And even though it's getting funky, but it's going to get even funkier. Trust me, it's not the end. And again, I already knew he was going to send the tanks. I said that. I was like, man, he got the tanks literally on the street. Tanks. In the damn street. So, you know, that's proof enough for anybody. That's really real right there. You breaking the tanks in, you know, that's deep. You feel me? And that's how I look at it. I look at it as militarized weapons. And I knew what happened. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat nothing. I just knew he would press the button on it. And that's how I just knew it would just get to the point where you're gonna get used to this. And most people are militant, especially Marines, they all have attitudes. So it's not only that they're the best, but they all have a fucking attitude problem. You're fucking with the wrong ones, man. I'm just saying. Once again, press like and subscribe on my YouTube channel, YouTube Universe. This will always end bad for them. Let's be honest. You know, and there's nothing no one else really can do about it. You know, we just been looking at the news and seeing things unfold, and it's like it's not just drama, it's real life moves being done right now. And again, it will only get worse from here on. It will only get worse. Because now they're going to tighten up. And they're going to tighten up to the point where, again, the targets are going to be in trouble. So they're not going to have no mercy. So it's almost like you're dancing with pork chop drawers on with all the best creatures ready to eat you. So you just need to, just saying, you gotta, it's not gonna be good from here on. That's all I know. Not for them. It's just, there's so much at stake right now. They're gonna tighten up. They're gonna get more aggressive. I see. They're gonna get more homed in. You know, it's gonna be even more fatalities, if will, because it's just gonna get tighter. It'll get more into, capturing a whole lot of immigrants to the point where it's just gonna be a whole lot of suffocating moves they're gonna perform on them. And it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a wave. They just gonna, because again, they're carrying out law and order, and now that they know that their lives is on jeopardy with the retaliation that these people ambush these agents on, so now the plot thickens, and trust me, it's not gonna get good for most Hispanics and immigrants. It just ain't, because they gonna go harder in the paint. Again, we're talking about people who are in law enforcement as far as the federal side of it all. And it just ain't gonna get good. That's all I gotta say. It just ain't gonna get good. You know? And I just want y'all to know that, YouTube Universe. And y'all go ahead and to the next video. I should have did it better than that. I said, I got it. What is